Who is she?
Who are you?
As I said, my name is Madeline.
I don't mean you, I
And
mean
a
the
long
Countess.
time ago, I was a spirit guide to the woman you know as
What's the Countess's name,
We're
then?
bonded, much like you and your guide are. But much has changed, and time is short. Will you help us?
I know you.
I have been trying to reach you in your dreams. At long last, I am able to manifest myself here. But time is short. Will you help us?
Let me just ask the last question.
We've got some questions first.
Yes, I'm sure you do. Will you help us?
Yes, I'll help you.
Okay.
I don't have much choice. She's killed me.
Killed you? No. She left you quite
Well, that's good at
unharmed.
least.
But regardless, there is no time to waste. Come with me.
Come with
now
me
just
where?
relax.
Hey, what's the big idea?
Oh,
All right, you. Talk. Where are they?
The pattern. They're going to fix the pattern.
Talk sense, will ya?
The source. Cut off the source and the pattern will revert.
Why do I bother? Great. Trapped on another plane of existence with the Countess of Crazyville. They better know what they're doing.
I mean, she doesn't, but alright. We're at a diner. Okay.
Hey, what happened? How did you do that?
This is where the link originates.
Link?
The bond between your countess and her hosts. Part of her is trapped here. You must remove it.
We'll go inside then.
For the upteenth time, I have no money for your fund.
Show some pity. At least lend us a cigarette.
Ahem. I believe we got company.
That's Joseph.
Ah.
Oh! Oh, that's Joseph and the guy!
Could you perhaps spare a few dollars for the Joe Gould Fund?
And that's Joseph! I think. Yeah, it's Joseph! Hi.
Hello.
Hello. My name is Joseph Ferdinand Gould. I am graduate of Harvard magna cum difficultate and chairman of the board of Wheel and Woe Incorporated. In exchange for a drink, I'll recite a poem, deliver a lecture, argue a point, or take off my shoes and imitate a seagull. I prefer gin, but beer will do.
I've been hearing a lot about you lately.
My reputation precedes me.
I saw your portrait in the Minetta.
The Minetta. Yes, I'm quite famous there, you know.
I gathered.
It's all thanks to Mitchell, of course. The
Ah.
Joe Gould Fund filled its coffers nicely when he wrote his article.
What are you doing here?
I don't quite know myself. We've all got to be someplace. As I understand it, I was mentally linked to my old friend, the Countess. I wish I'd known. It explains everything that my work was trying to prove.
Your work.
I have had many callings. I studied the seagulls of the world and learned their language.
Okay.
I spent months measuring the heads of 1,000 Chippewa Indians. But
Okay.
before I died, I was putting to paper the most important literary work known to man, the oral history of our time. It was a compilation of the conversations of the city, overheard in bars, subways, street corners.
It
and
sounds
diners.
interesting at least.
Put together and studied properly, it would have revolutionized everything.
How would it have revolutionized everything?
Yeah.
We were all connected, every single one of us.
Makes
But
sense.
how? Think of the ramifications if we found out.
It sounds like quite an undertaking.
It was my life's work.
How did you know the Countess?
We met in a diner like this one. We'd often spend a week or two walking along the docks to discuss
week?
seagulls. She had many interesting theories on seagull linguistics.
A
Then,
week?
One day, she disappeared. But a link had already formed between us. It's everything my oral history was trying to prove, that we were all linked.
The Countess is killing people.
Murder? No. No, I refuse to believe
Well,
that.
she did, so.
She couldn't hurt a fly.
Too bad! She did. She went crazy.
Why is she called the Countess?
That's what she chooses to call herself. Far be it for me to tell her otherwise.
The name doesn't seem strange to you?
When you lived a life like mine, you take people
True.
at face value. Who cares about names? I once knew another fellow without a name. Called himself the Deacon.
He knew the deacon?
The Deacon? You knew the Deacon.
What?
Oh yes, he was this gloomy career drunk.
What?
One summer night while sitting in a doorway of the Bowery, he
What?
caught the scent of sulfur. He looked up and saw the devil himself standing over him.
Yeah, well.
Since that night he believed he lost his soul. Not the most charitable drinking companion, if I may say so.
You know
No,
the deacon.
no, he wouldn't be.
You knew him?
Sort of.
Fancy that.
What's your connection to Joseph Mitchell?
Who's right behind me?
Ah, Mitchell. My benefactor. He made me quite famous, you know. But my goodwill only extends so far.
Why's that?
A cigarette. He has them. He won't give me one. It's demeaning to have to beg for one measly cigarette.
You want a cigarette?
Yes, I want a cigarette. It's a disgrace that I should have to beg for one.
I'd like to read the oral history.
And I'd like you to, but I'm afraid it belongs to the ages now.
There was also the problem of it never existing in the first place.
Of course it existed, only not on paper. It was over 3 million words, 3 times the size of the Holy Bible. The work transcended mere parchment and ink.
What about those essays you published in the Dial?
A passing fancy, nothing more.
You wrote essays?
For the now defunct Dial magazine. I still have the originals. Do you want to see?
Sure.
I'd like to see that essay.
Here you go.
It appears to be an essay about insanity, but the handwriting is so awful I can barely make it out. Just as well. I don't have time to read all this stuff. This handwriting, I don't think it's important. Here you go.
Always glad to...
Okay, let's talk to Joseph
Hello.
Mitchell.
You're Joseph Mitchell, aren't you?
I believe you have the better of me, Miss
Blackwell. Rosangela Blackwell.
Do you remember my
Blackwell.
aunt?
I might have known.
You met my auntie.
Your auntie, yes. I do see a slight resemblance. I did warn her to leave well enough alone, but she was determined. Let's hope that you can do some good here.
What are you doing here?
We are echoes, leftovers, if you will. We were linked to the Countess when we were alive. When we died, part of ourselves got trapped here.
So you're not a ghost?
Not fully. I'm not sure what I am. I remember
Interesting.
living, I remember dying, but I don't feel like Joseph Mitchell. All I
Interesting.
know is that when I thought of death, an eternity with Joe Gould was the last thing on my mind.
What is your connection to the Countess?
I don't know. I never met the woman. Joe Gould was the one who knew her. He had a special bond with her, apparently.
You
But
did
somehow,
too.
he passed it on to me when he died. Next thing I knew, I was murdering people by writing about them. There was no choice. I had to stop writing.
I studied some of your work in journalism school.
Now that's just foolish. I was a relic, even before I died. The city I wrote about has long since evolved and changed into something completely different. But that's New York City, isn't it? Wouldn't be New York if it stayed the same year to year.
I'm sorry you had to stop writing.
So am I. But what else could I do? Let innocent people die?
True.
No, I don't regret the choice I made. Not for one moment.
Did you know Charles Meltzer?
Yes, I did. He worked at the New Yorker back in the late 70s. He would come into my office and ask about the old days, and I was happy to tell him. I knew he would never cut it as a reporter, but he had a very keen, analytical mind. I almost forgot all about him, but it appeared a link formed between us, nonetheless.
Frick.
When I died, my connection to the Countess passed on to him.
Charles Meltzer is using the Countess to kill people.
By accident?
No, on purpose. He sent her after me.
Now, that's a shame. I'm aware that through my actions I killed a few people, but I could forgive myself for it, since I was unaware of what I was doing.
You had no fault.
Many times
I don't
thought
blame
to
you.
myself, I have a weapon. It's untraceable. Nobody knows about it. I could use it, but I did not.
You
I
were
was
smart.
tempted,
You were
but I
good.
did not. Not
You were
once.
good.
You have to stop Charles.
Well,
break this link, destroy this place.
one time,
No
but
more
that
innocents
was
should have to
asked. The only time was like my auntie, but you know,
How
she
do I
asked
break
for it.
this link?
Die. I wish I knew. I'm afraid all this is a bit beyond me.
How do I...
I'm afraid.
Why did you write about Joe Gould?
He's a fascinating man. Intolerable company, but fascinating. He exemplified everything about New York at the time. Its artistic expression, its frustration, its joy and heartbreak. His oral history, or the idea of it, energized the work of dozens of writers and intellectuals.
Well, that's good.
But the more I got to know him, the less I wanted to be around him.
Why don't you give him a cigarette?
When you give that man a cigarette or a drink, he likes to talk. And the only subject Joe Gould likes to talk about, at length, is Joe Gould. And the only person for him to talk to is me. So, I do not give him a cigarette.
Did you ever read Joe Gould's oral history?
That, it never existed. Or if it did, Mr. Gould never shared it with anyone, which amounts to the same thing.
You know why I never wrote it down. People would have died.
You didn't stop telling people you were writing it, did you?
What could I say? The truth? They would have chucked me in a loony bin.
Would you give him a cigarette if I spoke to him for you?
I might. If you can get him away from me, I might. But we can't leave this diner, and the door to that kitchen is locked.
Can't you just float through the wall?
Believe me, I've tried that. It doesn't work. Not
Okay.
here.
Would you give him a...
I might, if you can, but we can't.
Can't you...
Believe.
Okay.
Thanks for...
Thank you.
I can leave, but they can't. Can I talk to you?
Madeline, could I talk to you?
Of course.
I can!
Where are we?
You have been to this plane before. You have brought many lost spirits through here.
Well, yes, but there was never a diner before.
I can understand your confusion, but it is not a real diner.
Obviously.
It is metaphorical. As you know, there is a bond between the Countess and her current host, and the bond is represented by this diner. You will find out more inside.
Why is it represented by a diner?
Yeah.
The Countess used to spend lots of time in diners like these. You will find out more inside.
Alright, alright.
This bond, how do I break it?
Part of the Countess is trapped inside. You must find it and remove it.
How did the Countess break the bond between you?
She did not break the bond, but moved it.
Moved
To
it.
be rid of me, she had to form a bond with someone living. Someone who could, in essence, become her guide.
Ah.
How she acquired this knowledge, I do not know. I only know that it was accomplished.
Who did she pass it to?
Joe Gould. It was an easy task, since his mind was already broken. Upon Gould's death, it was passed on to Joseph Mitchell.
And now Charlie Meltzer.
Yes, it must be broken
Weird.
if this is to end.
Who are the ghosts inside?
Their names are Joseph Mitchell
Yeah, I
and Joe
figured that out.
Gould. Both of them were unwilling spirit guides for the Countess. The echoes of them remained here after they died.
Can't you come inside with me?
I'm afraid I cannot. My bond with the Countess is gone. I cannot enter.
But I can?
You are alive. You are much
Oh.
stronger than I am.
Okay.
How did the Countess get so...
Insane?
Yes.
Yes.
Like you, her mind is a door to another plane of existence.
Right.
By corrupting our bond, she opened that door so wide that it flooded her mind with unfathomable knowledge. She essentially has the universe inside her head, and no human mind can contain that. It broke her. She sees everything but understands nothing. If she didn't
Okay.
banish me to this place between worlds, I might feel more pity.
Did you know her when she was alive?
Of course, we spent almost 30 years together.
30! Wait!
What was she like?
30 was all she took?
Happier. She loved helping those in need.
What?
But it no longer matters. She is the one who needs help now.
Wait. 30 years she got desperate, changed off her, or got rid of her spirit guide or whatever, Madeline or whatever. Really? Only 30 years? Like, admittingly, Auntie didn't last that long. But that's because something happened to her, and we don't know what it is, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't her moving the bond over because she saw what happened to the Countess there. So something happened to her when my girl was 5, and then she suffered for like 25 years. But still, like, 30 is not a long time, yo!
Can you take me back?
Most certainly. But you must finish what you came here to do
Like,
first.
that's pathetic,
Figures.
Countess.
Thanks, Madeline.
I will be waiting.
Alright, so I need to go and to talk to the two some more.
Mr. Gould,
She would say, can you spare a...
I'm afraid I'm a little short.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I'd
Essays.
like to see...
Here you go.
Can I keep them if I stop looking at
Here
them?
you go.
Always glad.
Mr. Gould,
She would say,
I'm afraid...
fair...
You want to...
Yes, I want a cigarette.
I'll talk to you.
Sure.
Mr.
Yeah.
Would you give him a cigarette if I spoke to him for you?
I might. If you can, but we can't leave.
Can't you just float through the...
Believe me.
Would you give him a...
I might. If you, but we
Can't you just...
believe me.
Wait, are they both?
How do I
Oh,
break
there you
this
go.
link?
I wish I knew. I'm afraid all this is a bit beyond me.
Thanks
Alright.
for talking.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it brought a smile to your face. You can follow me on Twitter for more updates on when videos are going to come out. And you can also follow me on Twitch to find out when to watch these live, actually, since all of these are my live streams. Links are in the description below, so you can click whatever you want. I would love for you to come on Twitch, because I'd love to get to know all of you and make you laugh and happy and all that great stuff. You can, if you did like this video, the next one should be out, and if it is out, you can click the link here somewhere. I hope it's going to be here anyways. And if you did enjoy it, please subscribe to me by clicking this button over here. I think that's everything I want to say. Yeah. So, I've been Andrea. I'll put a smile to your face, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.